Guyana considers Philippines travel visa waiver. Young man dies in accident in Ogle. Radical Sears, from clerk to CEO. And my three biggest concerns with the nation today. I am Rico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The Philippines is seeking to enter into a visa waiver agreement with Guyana. This was conveyed by their new representative to Guyana, Mario Chan. Ambassador Chan noted that it would allow for freer travel and ultimately deeper cooperation between the two countries. The president has since assured that Guyana will consider the proposal. Today, 55-year-old businessman Keith King was remanded to prison for allegedly trafficking $2.4 million worth of cocaine. He denied having nearly 5 pounds of cocaine in his possession for the purpose of trafficking on April 16th of this year at Bel Air Avenue. King was remanded to prison until May 10th, 2022. 2 U.S. citizens who were arrested at the airport with allegedly forged Rona tests were charged and remanded to prison. 24-year-old Jesse Vick and 26-year-old William Ross were charged with the offense of uttering a forged document. They pleaded not guilty. Both were remanded to prison and will be back in court May 10th. The police, however, did not release photographs of Vick and Ross. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale, this is 2014 RDQ3. It comes with Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, stereo, fog lamps, electronic parking brake, back camera, and much, much more. Buy cars for $5.6 million. All paid down as low as $1,120,000 down, with around $108,000 monthly for 5 years, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street. Enter America sent you for this sweet deal. Early yesterday morning, 4 cutlass-wielding bandits attacked and injured a security guard while he was on duty at the Gulf shopping complex at Land of Canaan. 51-year-old Derek Hansraj was chopped to his head and knee during the incident. He is currently in the hospital while the men escaped from the scene of the crime. Easter Monday ended in tragedy after 22-year-old Alex Amsterdam was killed in an accident at the Ogle intersection. He was riding a motorcycle along the Rupert Craig Highway when a car crossed the intersection at Ogle. Amsterdam collided into the car and was flung face first into the pavement. He died before medical help could arrive. The 35-year-old driver is in police custody. Last evening, 41-year-old Radha Pandey, a cook in the interior, was struck down while crossing the Monrepo public road. Pandey had $1 million in cash in her possession before she was hit by the car. According to her son, that money is now missing and is suspected to have been stolen from the crime scene. Pandey was taken to the hospital in an ambulance, but she died before reaching. The driver is presently in police custody assisting with the investigation. Who said luxury can't be affordable? Move into your own home in 2022. Lenore Estates, West Coast Tamara properties are within your reach. Move out of the landlord's place and put that rent money towards your own 5,000 square foot property. Call or WhatsApp 592-618-5702 for more info. Now, here's the story of a young woman who worked her way through the male-dominated field of security services to become CEO of Sheriff Security. Years ago, Radhika Sears left her home in Essequibo to pursue a degree in computer studies and business management at UG. This subsequently led her down a career path that had her working with several major brands and charities in Georgetown before finally reaching Sheriff Security Service to work as an inventory clerk in 2012. That's back when there was still a jewelry security service. Anyway, from there she moved up the ranks at Sheriff, and now, at 39 years old, she is the company's chief executive officer, making her the only female CEO of a major security company in Ghana. You can correct me if I'm wrong about that, and there's others, but nevertheless, despite this fact, the mother of 3 enjoys a good working relationship with her colleagues and dedicating herself to the job. So, congratulations. By the way, if you'd like to hear more features about average Guyanese finding success in their lives, well, just let me know in the comments, and we'll feature more in the future. Now for today's oil update. Using the examples of nations like Ghana and Trinidad, former Director of Economics at the Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Justin Ram, warned Guyana to guard against the oversupply of gas to the market when the Gas to Shore project comes on stream. According to Dr. Ram, the magnitude of investment must go far beyond the gas project itself for the original structure to even make sense for this nation's economy. So not having enough industries to take off the energy would actually be detrimental to us. He then recommended that the private sector be integrally involved in making the gas to shore project an overall success. This even means that they should consider directly investing in the project to make money, as well as to reduce the fiscal burden to the state. So far, such local private sector investment has been relatively limited to direct servicing and staffing of oil industries and not downstream industries. Nevertheless, the project will see the establishment of a gas processing plant and a natural gas liquids facility capable of producing at least 4,000 barrels per day, including the separating out of liquefied petroleum gas. Now, before you all say anything, I know I said that I'd talk about ring fencing today, but I haven't fully educated myself on the topic yet, and I don't want to tell you half a story. So, check out tomorrow's episode for that. Now for our stupid news of the day. Yesterday, one viewer asked me my biggest concerns for Guyana, and I listed 3. This is a little long, but it needs to be said. First, the government doesn't seem to have a true plan for holistic national development, just a checklist of campaign promises to fulfill. Now, they made a lot of promises on the campaign trail because they sounded nice, and not because they were actually of maximum benefit to the people of the nation. It's nice to say 50,000 house lots for Guyanese, but it's even better to completely address the housing affordability crisis. It's nice to say free UG scholarships, but it's even better to improve the state of UG first before bringing in more students into that scuttlebutt they call a school. And this is coming from experience. It's great to build a new power plant, but it's even better to develop more sustainable energy management systems first. I could go on and on, but I think you get it. Instead of making a set of direct promises, they should have really sat down for a moment, evaluate and identified key areas of national development, and then ask the people how they want to fit into this plan for the future. And speaking of our future, that's actually my second point. I don't believe the government is being realistic about the actual impact of the oil industry on the nation, both positive and negative. The economic trajectory of Guyana's next 55 years is being set today. And if this government is not careful, it will make the divide between the rich and the poor in this nation even bigger. That imbalance always leads to a huge spike in crime, poverty, and societal denigration. I mean, honestly, look at our neighbors, and they will show you that the larger the divide between rich and poor becomes, the more violent the society becomes. And with the police we have in this nation, you could forget about ever feeling safe in such a world. Now that brings me to my third point. I'm concerned because there are simple things the government could do to improve the life of average Guyanese that they just aren't doing for whatever reason. Like finding creative ways to get money into people's hands. They could do this by increasing the minimum wage, regularizing street vendors to make them into real business people, and modernizing all financial laws to make it easier for people to access and to use their money. They should also push for laws to improve the movement of digital currency, so people could use their cards for more purchases and not carry on stacks of cash so they can actually feel safe around town. And 3, they could also update copyright laws to allow creative Guyanese to properly profit off of their work, myself included, obviously. Next, they need to address corruption to allow the public to anonymously submit names of corrupt civil servants and to then investigate them. Then after that, stamp up the most obvious forms of corruption. They can do this by doing more sting operations against police officers who take bribes. Third and finally, they need to enforce the laws on the books. Guyana is not a lawless place. We actually have many laws here, but the judiciary should be empowered to address when there are obvious violations to this law, but for some reason it's not happening. Now, I won't pretend that these few suggestions will just change everything in our nation, but it would at least make Guyana a more livable place for Guyanese. Do you own a truck? No, not the immunodisease, I mean a real truck. Like Darth, International, Freightliner, Bedford TM, or Scammell? Then come, get high-quality truck parts at the lowest prices at Powered Automotive. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Now for our viewers poll question of the day. Yesterday's question was, well, what question do you have for me? Cliff Morion says, what's your take on the Eagle or whatever that is at the new roundabout? I'll just say this, just like many other projects in this country, it's a good concept, but poor execution. I know the artist tried their best, so I'll give him that. Errol Holloway says, what do you think of the current joint projects between Ghana and Barbados? Well, to be honest, I'm actually a bit ignorant about them, so I don't want to give a full judgment, but I would say on the surface, any sort of interaction between Barbados and Guyana for economic gain for both is a good thing. RC View Farm says, do you think there should be a real law against noise nuisance in residential neighborhoods? Yes, absolutely. And frankly, they should have zoning about these bars. You shouldn't even be allowed to have these bars in certain residential neighborhoods, or they shouldn't even be allowed to operate after certain times. But of course, all of this could be solved with proper zoning and permitting laws. Our Seaview Farm also asked for me to do a feature of the young people who are medaling at the Carifta Games. Miss Harvey won gold beating the Jamaicans, and that is newsworthy. Pick up and support the youth. Indeed, we don't usually report on sports topics, but you're right, it's actually worth talking about. It's an accomplishment indeed. And finally, Miko Savage said, can you cover the local content bill and what it entails for the local workforce? Yes, I can, and I will. Before we get to tonight's question, you can multiply your cash by selling digital top-up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Now, our question for this evening. I said my 3 biggest concerns for the nation. What are yours? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. You check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.